Atheist throws some major shots at the Christian faith.
Jesus ain't worth a damn to me. He didn't change a damn thing. And it's not needed in life at all. At all. We got it from him. No more superstitions needed. We got it. That's a win for humanity. And that's why I say Jesus ain't worth a damn.
But let's talk about it here on All Things Theology. Cue my theme music.
All things theology, all things theology. We chop it up properly without an apology. Gotta get that theology to God, hollow because this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace. Welcome back to another episode of All Things Theology, where this is your host K-Dub, and today we're going to be talking about an atheist that has been showing up in my feed quite a bit. I said, okay, I don't want to be in my echo chamber. Let's hear what this thoughtful, rational, logical critique of the Christian faith is going to be, right? Well, you're not going to get that here. You're just not. I'm just going to say that. This gentleman is by the name of Tristan Harris. And if I mispronounce your name, if you watch this video, please forgive me. Put that on my account, right? He labels himself an ex-Christian. And one thing you often see is sometimes when people leave the faith, they got on in ignorance and they left more ignorantly. And we're going to see that clearly in this video. He doesn't understand many Christian concepts and themes and things like that. So we're going to, hey, Tristan, we're here to help. We're here to explain things as well. This is your friendly Christian here talking. This video is entitled, Jesus Ain't Worth a DAMN, right? So, of course, that title intrigued me. Okay, let's see why Jesus ain't worth nothing. He ain't worth a cent. He ain't worth a red penny. Okay, well, let's hear what he has to say throughout this video. Okay, so one of the things he's about to, let me just set the premise of what he's going to be talking about. A lot of what he's talking about is the critique of the atonement. You know the hymn, Jesus paid it all. Yeah, well, let's hear what he has to say about Jesus paid it all.
It's finished. Jesus paid it all.
And so right out the gate, he's mocking Jesus paid it all. And what you're going to see very clearly, he doesn't even understand why that song was written. We're going to go through some of the background of who wrote that song and why and what was going through the process of this person. But I mean, you didn't even have to know the background. All you would have to know is the lyrics. But some of the things he's going to say or assert that it's about is just like, wow. Did you even contemplate these lyrics? But let's continue.
Whew. How many of you have heard that before? It is finished. Jesus paid it all. See, that was one of the most famous songs and theological concepts taught in the church.
Yeah, sure was.
It is finished. Jesus paid it all. But in reality, what does that even mean?
Okay, Tristan, I'm glad you're asking, because what you're going to say a little bit clearly demonstrates you don't know what the song actually means. So allow me to help you out, because look, respectfully, you're ignorant about this song. This song was written in 1865 on a hot summer Sunday morning by a lady known as Miss Elvina Hall, right? One Sunday morning, she was listening to the prayer and actually drifted off in contemplative thought about the atonement. You know, the atonement, that term, where we talked about it is finished. She was contemplating that telestai. And she started to ponder about that deep theological truth about it is finished. And so she brought out her hymn book and started to go to the back and started literally to write this hymn. That's how we have this hymn. She's literally contemplating this. She's thinking about it is finished, John 19:30, right? And she started to write on the back of this hymn book, and thus the lyrics were born. And oddly enough, sovereignly enough, whatever word you want to use, someone had like a week prior written a melody without any lyrics. And the song like just went together with that melody. You can call it providence. We like providence, right? And so thus the hymn Jesus Paid It All was born, right? And allow me to quote just some great lyrics of this song, right? Jesus paid it all to him I owe. My sin had left a crimson stain, but Jesus washed it white as snow. Now, what is this song obviously about? It is about Jesus paying all the debt that we owed, right? He paid it all, right? It is finished. The atoning work of Christ, the propitiatory sacrifice of Christ, it is finished. It is done. There's nothing for us to do since the wrath of God has been satisfied, right? Due to his death. I mean, very clearly that's what the song about, right? You don't have to be a major theologian to know all this, right? It's about Jesus paying all our sin debt. So what is the our sin? Now we're going to hear some things he's going to try to say this is about, or kind of assert maybe this is what about. You know, he just asks a lot of questions and come to some absurd conclusions. We're going to get there in a second, but let's keep going as we've demonstrated this very clearly.
Because it seems to me the Jesus character doesn't make a huge difference in a person's life anymore than another God someone claimed has impacted their life.
Blatantly false. But one of the things he constantly does in this video is it seems he denies the historical reality of Jesus, because he always says this Jesus character. Now, if he wants to contest some of those things, okay, you would be standing alone in scholarship. I mean, even some of your most radical skeptics, such as Bart Ehrman, who's an atheist as well, historian, biblical critic, when it comes to textual criticism, things like that. He doesn't even deny the historical reality of Jesus. Now, of course, he denies the Christian faith, right? So there's other issues to deal with when it comes to him. But I mean, pretty much history affirms the existence of Jesus. Matter of fact, many go as far as to say it's actually the most known fact. I mean, everybody and their mama was writing about Jesus, right? Like, that's the certainty of it, right? I mean, even outside of the Gospels, it's an attested fact. Jesus existed. Matter of fact, if you deny Jesus' existence, you don't have certainty to believe anyone else existed prior to the printing press. I mean, so if that's the route you want to go, okay.
So what did he pay?
Sin debt.
Or what did he pay for, since he paid for it all? Believers in Jesus don't have a get out of jail free card. They don't have attributes that other human beings don't have. So the fruit of the Spirit is complete. So what exactly does "it is finished, he paid it all" means?
Now, if you actually listen to what he's saying, he's not substantiating his assertions. He's just saying, it's BS. And then he concludes with another question about what does Jesus pay it all mean? And here's a funny thing. You were singing those songs for many years by your profession as a former Christian, and you didn't know what Jesus paid it all meant. I mean, this is why I'm a proponent of contemplating what you're actually singing. We don't just sing to sing. We're contemplating what we're singing, who we're singing about. There should be meditative thoughts going into the lyrics you're singing about, right? We don't just read the lyrics. You shouldn't just be reading lyrics on the screen. And so that's the irony of all this. It's like, bro, you claimed the faith at one point. What do you think it mean? Because some of the things you're going to kind of raise some questions or assertions about, it's like, had nothing to do with that.
Because in reality, all would mean it encompasses any and everything that...
No, it does not. All is encompassed according to its context. So let me give you an example. If I go into a store and say, hey, I'm gonna buy all you guys shoes, right? It's a shoe store, right? Would it be reasonable for someone who's 1,000 miles to say, why didn't you buy me none? You said all. All is defined by its context. Now, it can be exclusive to everybody, but the song very clearly is talking about the debt we owe God. It's not saying Jesus paid it all for your Bugatti. We're going to kind of hear some of those language. Jesus paid it all for your best life now. That's not what the song is not talking about. Why doesn't the song get the right to determine the meaning of the song? But he comes along and says, no, all has to be everything, all exclusively. Oh my goodness.
We have to deal with in this life as human beings. Did he fix sickness? No.
Nor does the song say it is.
Did he fix depression?
Nor does the song say it is.
No, because people still get depressed. Did he fix the struggle? No, he didn't fix that either.
Nor does the song say it does. Like, I mean, this is a repeated thing, right? I mean, even go down the lyrics. Oh, praise the one who paid my debt and raised this life up from the dead. It's very clearly talking about the sin debt, which is that Jesus paid it all. The it is referring to sin debt. I mean,
did he fix death? Or is death the last enemy?
Yes.
Nah, he didn't fix death now at all. So what the hell did he fix? Some say he fixed it so you can get a house. But I thought he wasn't a genie in a bottle.
No. How dare you?
Now you can. My suspicion is that he probably came from a very charismatic, word of faith kind of background where it was a lot of this name it, declaim it, decree it, grab it, blab it kind of jargon going on. Because one, the song doesn't talk about that. Two, John 19:30, which the song is based on, doesn't talk about that. Matter of fact, the Bible nowhere talks about, well, because of Jesus' death, you're going to get a new house. That's not the Bible. Now, we have a man to prepare for us, but that's not what he's trying to talk about, obviously, right? So where is this all coming from? Because it has actually nothing to do with the lyrics of the song that he brought up. That's the kind of frustrating thing. It's like, what are you talking about, sir?
Or Santa Claus. So he answers, it seems that he answers some and not others. You must have to have an exclusive pass to the club or something.
Well, God does not answer the prayers of the believers, if that's what you mean. He doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked. But one, yeah, God doesn't even or let me say it this way. God sovereignly answers prayers according to his will. So he doesn't even answer every believer's prayer. And thank God he doesn't, because let's be honest, sometimes believers ask for some foolish things, right? And so it's not about being a member of the exclusive club. It's about God's sovereign providence to do as he pleases. I mean, even the framework of this is actually ordered in a very anthropocentric manner, very man-centered. So, yeah.
Because to me, Jesus ain't worth a damn at all.
Now, has he demonstrated any of that? All he's demonstrated so far, respectfully, Tristan, is that you don't know what Jesus paid it all actually means. And you're just raising questions and then drawing absurd conclusions on the basis of those questions. So here's the thing. If you're going to make a claim, Jesus ain't worth the DAMN, right? You have to ground that in evidence and facts and logical reasoning. But you haven't done so. All you've done is raise a question and say, I don't believe that. And again, most Christians wouldn't believe the things you're saying either, right?
But maybe it's because people think that this world is sinful and that they're desperately awaiting for it to end and burn so that they can go up in the sky. But see, I have a huge problem with that type of thinking because it creates lazy beings.
You got to stop doing that. You've got to stop doing that.
So what he's trying to argue, well, if you believe this world is sinful and we're waiting, this world is not our home, we're waiting to be with God in heaven. He says, well, really, that creates lazy human beings. But let's test this out historically. Christians has been some of the most fervent people about bringing change, societal change. You talk about hospitals, orphanages, right? So many things Christians have contributed societally. I mean, we have a literal doctrine, do good to our neighbor, right? And so no, believing that this earth is sinful and desiring to be in heaven isn't incompatible with, while we're here, do good to your neighbor, as the Bible also teaches. I mean, we're not Gnostics where we don't believe the body doesn't matter and the now and here doesn't matter. The Bible also doesn't teach that. And so there's a lot of confusion going on.
Do you want to build a
Straw man.
And straw mans and misrepresentations going on. I mean, and we're like 3-4 minutes into this video. I mean, it's not that long of a video, but you can kind of see. And here's the thing. I don't know if this gentleman's an atheist. I think he may be. Is truth, is representing someone's faith, their beliefs, important to you? Because if it is, I cannot tell in this video, because we've heard so many misrepresentations so far. We're going to hear some more. Don't worry.
Who they really hate and despise this life here on earth. In fact, they're told that this earth is not their home. And
that's not incompatible with being lazy. Yes, this world is not our home, but while we're here, sojourners, we believe in doing good to our neighbor. So one thing doesn't contradict the other, but in his mind, he seemingly thinks it does.
This body is only temporary, and they're taught like all type of things that will make them hate living here on the earth, meaning they won't be motivated to make it a better place.
Even though Christians have.
Or your loved ones to live in. So what?
Yeah, Christians don't do anything. We don't adopt. We don't build orphanages. We don't give money to organizations to for the betterment of life. Again, hospitals were built in the name. I mean, that's why you have a lot of hospitals. St. John's Hospital. Hospitals like that. I mean, universities. Things like Harvard, Yale, and things like that were built originally by Christians. Well, but we don't care about the pie in the sky. That's all we're cared about. This is absurd from a historical perspective too.
He finished. You know what? I got it. He paid it all, is all tied to eternal bliss in the sweet by and by.
Even this is wrong. That's a result of Jesus paying it all, right? We spend eternity with him, but that's it's a result, but that's not initially what paid it all means. I mean, or it is finished. It's referring to what he has done. He has satisfied the wrath of God. Our sin debt has been paid for, right? He's atoned for our sins. As a result, yes, we do go to be with him forever. But again, that's a result of the atoning work of Christ, not the accomplishment primarily. But again, again, we have to explain some of these things. So, yeah.
Well, Jesus paid it all means that you'll live with him forever in a place that isn't real and hasn't been verified to exist. Then you have just been played.
How would you go about verifying this place? I actually want to hear how he would. Well, no one's going to tell it. Well, what you see sometimes, what atheists will demand physical evidence for supernatural claims, and so sometimes you see the reasoning of what they're demanding you prove heaven exists right now, as if I could take you there right now, right? And so, we could talk more about how we come to substantiate supernatural claims and things like that. But I mean, there's a lot of things I can't prove. I mean, there's a lot of things I cannot prove to you that happened, once you die. I mean, because it seems like this isn't more of an experiential claim. A lot of people, well, I've never experienced it. Well, you never experienced death, but you're going to die. I mean, I hope you would assert that you're going to die one day. So, yeah, maybe we could talk about that more too.
You have just been played. Matter of fact, let me borrow $500 now, and you'll get it back when you get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Let me.
Oh my goodness. Again, this is why I say I think his background may be like some charismatic leaning, because the Bible doesn't teach, well, if you give somebody $500, you'll get it back in heaven. I mean, oh my God, this is absurd.
You just hold something now, you'll get it back later. See, the Jesus character already got it wrong when he proclaimed that the world would end during his lifetime. Read the Gospels.
Yeah, let's actually go to that passage. Let's do a little Bible study real quick, because many people misunderstand this passage. Was Jesus predicting the end of the world in his own lifetime? Well, let's see. Let's get into the Bible. Y'all know how we do it here.
Can we talk for a minute? The Bible says.
Let's look at the Bible. Let's look at Mark 9, because this is one of the Gospels proclamation of this passage that I believe he's referring to. Obviously, this is also in Matthew and Luke as well, I believe. But let's look at Mark. Let's see. He says, and he said to them, truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the kingdom of God after it has come with power. Now, many people say, see, Jesus was predicting one that, that his disciples would not die before he comes. Right. And maybe he might be referring to another passage, but generally this is the one they refer to. Right. But is Jesus in this passage predicting his own return before the disciples' death? No, he's not. As long as you understand that kingdom of God, one can be used multiple ways. Another reference of kingdom is like where Jesus talks about the kingdom is within. He's obviously not talking about physical heaven, right? But I want you to notice some things, right? Because notice he says there are some of you standing here, right? He doesn't say all. He's speaking to his disciples. He doesn't say all of them, right? So that gives us a little bit of a clue on what's going on. But let's actually read some further, because one thing we need to realize is the disciples weren't idiots. I know many people skeptics try to make the disciples as just bumbling idiots, right? Because they didn't have an iPhone, right? Notice this. I believe Mark makes this connection between verse 1 versus what follows from 2 to 13. That's my position. And notice what happens. They're literally about to see the kingdom of God literally raining down, like coming down to them. Notice this. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John. So yeah, that would be some of them, right? And led them up a mountain by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. And so they literally see Jesus' glory radiant, right? His clothes become radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. Right. He sees also Elijah and Moses with him. And again, my position is literally the kingdom is being shown to them with power. I mean, it's an immediate connection that Mark makes just a few verses following. Here's another issue as well, is the word for coming in this passage is erkomai, which could refer to Jesus coming again. I mean, it literally means come or to go. But the typical usage for the second coming, right? Jesus' return in all of them is parousia. You go look at some of these passages. Matter of fact, let me share my screen here and you can see, let me see, does that got up? Oh yeah. Let's look at, so the term there is, oh, sorry, I said erkomai. In this passage, it's Luthean, right? Which is meaning having come, right? So that's the word used in Mark 9:1. But the general use is if Jesus was trying to refer, I believe, to his second coming, a stronger word would have been parousia, which literally refers to his coming, his presence again, right? And look at all these passages are emphatically about the second coming. You can pause and look at as you go along here. You got Matthew 24, verse 3, verse 27, 37, 39, right? All in a second coming passage. 1 Corinthians 15, 23, 1 Corinthians. I mean, you can go through all these passages and they're all emphatically about the second coming when it refers to Christ, right? And so, again, this is why I believe a stronger word would have been to use parousia. But again, does he care about being fair? Right? Does Jesus possibly have something else in mind when he's using this passage? I mean, you wouldn't get that from him, but let's keep going.
It's all in there. So how in the hell is he supposed to bring a kingdom that he was wrong about in the first place?
Yeah, it seems more that he is very talking about this kingdom, like Mark 9. Sorry, he wasn't wrong about that passage. You're wrong about you claiming he was speaking about his second coming. So not what he was talking about.
See, Jesus ain't worth a damn. The whole idea of rejecting the beauty of this life, the life we know we have, because it pales in comparison to the life to come, because a book says so, that's mental delusions.
Well, I mean, that's not an argument. That's just an assertion. And just saying it's in a book is an argument. There's a lot of true things in a book. It'd be absurd to say, will you deny gravity because a book says so? Well, that's not why I believe in gravity, right? It just so happens to also be in a book, right? And so this isn't a coherent argument. This is red meat for his followers, because some things like that speak to him. Yeah, it's in a book. Therefore, it's wrong. Well, I didn't mean it like that. Well, that's what you're saying. Again, not a coherent argument as well.
Totally mentally delusioned. You have failed for the good old okie doke, the banana in the tailpipe, the flim flam, the good old sham wow, the good old sham wow tactic. It's a good old snake oil salesman tactic. Give up what you have now for something better to come.
How was that a salesman's tactic? Use salesman tactic, a snake oil or the sham wow. How was? But the opposite would be true. Get what you can get before it's all gone. Right? That's how they sell it. Telling people to wait for pleasure is not a very productive message, right? Because we all want pleasure now. Right? It's my money and I want it now, right? We want things now. If Jesus was just trying to trick people, to follow his message, he would be telling them now they're going to reign. Now they're going to be kings. But that's actually the very opposite of his message. You tell people to wait for something now, they'll lose their minds. So again, another asterisk we're putting on the logical test.
Unfortunately, a lot of us see through the and have woke the hell up from this toxic belief system.
Now, again, he hasn't demonstrated any of this to be toxic. Okay, you don't like it. Okay, that's fair. But don't act like you presented some rational, logical argument to demonstrate what you're saying about it.
The listen to me now, believe me for later on, just won't do. It's a scam. There's no reason why you have to give up this life because in hope of a better life to come. That's complete. They're selling you on the later or the hereafter, or you.
And that's not even what Jesus came saying. Well, hey man, just believe me. Just believe me. Later will happen. He came documenting his messiahship with many miracles that no one denied until you got a lot of overly rationalistic. When I mean overly rationalistic, like rational thought, right? Where it's just they deny all the supernatural claims, right? And so no one in Jesus' day denied these miracles are happening, right? They just didn't believe he was the Messiah, right?
Have to die to enjoy your life. Total insanity. It's crazy. It don't make any sense at all. It doesn't. But I get it. I do get it, because so many of you have invested so much. Yes, that they would call it the sunk cost fallacy. So many have heavily invested so much into this fiction, even when it's clear that the abandonment would be more beneficial.
Now, has he demonstrated, grounded that statement he just made right there? No. But he says it very confidently. And so you're just supposed to believe it, right? It sounds like he's the one that just says, believe me now, right? Believe me now, but is he going to give any evidence for why abandoning it would be better? Besides, hey, I can do what I want. Okay. I mean, that's not a betterness. That just, goes to your, what's the word? Your desire of autonomy apart from God. Okay. That's not an argument. That's just something you like better. You can't confuse something you like better with something being actually better.
But I get it. Some of you use this Jesus character as an emotional snuggie. He makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. He does this, he does that. That's all that emotional snuggie you're wrapping yourself.
No, yeah, some people have used God for that, and I've spoken against that. I know many Christians have spoke against this. We've called it here on this channel the moral therapeutic Jesus, right? He's just there to make you feel better about yourself. We've actually critiqued that in many of our videos. So, yeah, disagreeing with some popular evangelical view doesn't mean you're actually critiquing what the Bible says. Unfortunately, there are many Christians out there who aren't teaching or expressing what the Bible teaches. The Bible doesn't kind of teach this moral therapeutic Jesus as well. So, I mean, I will grant you this. It's just not an argument against the Bible. It's an argument against how many modern evangelicals aren't taking the Bible serious on this issue.
Because you're trying to navigate and find meaning in life, and you just use Jesus to do it. I get it. I understand that. But that doesn't make it true. See, my thing is, Jesus giving up a weekend for a penalty you created to save me from is some bull. See,
well, I mean, yeah, you created your problem and Jesus saved you from it. What's the issue there? Again, just calling it BS after something you just don't like about the Christian message isn't an argument. Okay, you don't like it. Okay. I don't like sherbet ice cream. But just saying you don't like it isn't an argument for why vanilla is better. I mean, it's a bit childish.
Jesus ain't worth a damn to me. He didn't change a damn thing. And it's not needed in life at all. At all. We got it from him. No more superstitions needed. We got it. That's a win for humanity. And that's why I say Jesus ain't worth a damn. Because the way I see it, when I look around, I interact with people. I see them daily. I see church people all the time. The life that they live is no longer better or different than anybody around.
No.
Is it possible these are hypocrites that you're seeing? And I mean, probably they're people that they probably are. But if their life is no different, then it's possible these people are only just professing a faith. Biblically speaking, if they're living exactly like the pagan who hates God, hates his ethics, his ways, then yeah, there's probably something wrong with them.
So at the end of the day, this Jesus didn't pay for a damn thing.
You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that.
In conclusion, like he proved the original thesis. Yes, now that I've laid out all this, see, I told you he wasn't worth anything. That's what we've been waiting for. And so far, we haven't heard anything like that.
Because from the way I sit and look at it, it's useless. But thanks for stopping by. Comment on the channel, share, like, subscribe. Thanks again for stopping through. Tristan's Chronicles. You guys mean a lot. I'm amazed at the love and support you guys show on a weekly basis. It's amazing. So thank you. Until next time. Peace.
Yeah, so I wanted to play that too because he said words like love, support, peace. Here's a question I have. According to what standard? According to what standard? Define love. Define peace. According to the non-theistic, whatever position you're depositing. Again, I don't know if you're agnostic or atheist or you have this higher power you believe in. I don't know. Define those things apart from the revelation of God. Again, I would love to have those conversations. Maybe he'll like to have a conversation with me. Tristan, I promise I'm nice. I think we would have a good conversation. I've had conversations with numerous atheists on this channel, and they've gone well from a cordiality standpoint. And so if you like to converse over these issues, I'd be open to. Guys, let me know if you like to hear more conversations or reviews like this, where, come from a more apologetic standpoint and deal with some of the claims and critiques against the Christian faith. I think it would be educational and informative. Hope it was educational to you today. Till the next time, grace and peace. Oh, grace and peace. Thank you for watching another episode of All Things Theology. If you enjoyed what you heard today, go on and give me a like. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I promise to give you weekly lives, videos, interactions, exposing false teachers, sharing with you, the viewer, my theological beliefs, things about the culture, and the Bible. So if you're here for that, come on and join us. Also, if you would like to support this channel financially, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Links are in the description below. You can see content before it drops. You can also have Q&A sessions with also other Patreon members, YouTube members as well. So if you would like that, hit the description link in below.